Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa, and I'm here to show you how to sublimate a mug using a convection oven instead of a typical press. It's cheaper to do, it's easier to do, and I think most of you will have more success doing it this way. So the first thing you're going to need is a sublimation mug. You can't go to Dollar Tree and purchase a 99-cent mug. You have to purchase a mug like this one um, at a place that sells sublimation blanks. It's specially coated so that it accepts ink to be sublimated. And they're $1 or two, up to two, depending on where you get it from. I will let you know that I get mine at JDS Industries. There's a location here with a warehouse where I live, so it's easy for me to pick it up and not have to pay shipping. You can order a certain amount. I think their minimum amounts are $99, and then you can get free shipping. So that might be a worthwhile option for you if you need to get shipping. Hi, here I am again. I want to show you my thermometer that I use. It's a Taylor thermometer. I got this on Amazon. It's, if you can see it, it's a metal thermometer, and it has a mercury line instead of one of those dials that you normally see on oven thermometers. The reason why I like this one is because it's more accurate. You get a more accurate number rather than those little dial versions. These are more expensive. They are, I think I paid $12 for this one, but it has proven to be pretty accurate, so I'm very happy with it. I just sit it inside my convection oven, and I closely monitor. You can't walk away from your convection oven because you're going to be trying to maintain 400 degrees for your mugs for 12 minutes. So you need to watch it because I've had it go up to 425 or 450, which means I have to open up the oven when this is happening and let some of the heat out. If it's too low, I may have to raise the temperature a little bit. So you kind of have to keep watching it for the full time. Okay, this is my convection toaster oven. I have an Oster brand. It is a French door style. You don't need to have a French door style, but what's most important is that you have a convection oven that is considered extra large or tall, because to put your mugs in, if you do 15-ounce mugs or if you want to do water bottles or that sort of thing, you're going to have the height to be able to do that. And you'll take everything out of it except for your low tray here, your low grid. That's all you're going to need. You put it at the lowest setting, as you can see that I have. This oven, as you can see, will go up beyond 450 degrees. That's what you should be looking for, because you're going to need at least 400 to do this. It's going to be 400 degrees for 12 minutes. So make sure you can get above that, because what you will find is that you'll set your convection oven to 400, but your temperature may end up being lower. There's not a tremendous amount of accuracy with any of these machines, so you're going to have to be able to turn that up or down depending on what you see your thermometer doing. You also, I don't know what your settings will be, but if you have this turbo setting, it may be called convection on your oven, that's what you want to set it to. So your dial should be set to turbo or convection. And here, this one has a timer. You're not really using that, but I tend to just turn it to, more than 12 degrees, so 12 minutes, I'm sorry, so I can go longer than the allotted time. I don't use this timer for my timer. I use my Alexa timer, or you can use, any other timer that you may have. You can use this if you want. I'm guessing you just set it to the 12 minute mark and you'll know you'll be done. But I prefer to have more of a visual and be able to hear my time on my Alexa app. So you should be heating this oven right now to 400 degrees. So go ahead and set that. You put your Taylor thermometer inside. My machine takes, I don't know, probably 15 minutes, 15 minutes to get up to that temperature. I found this convection oven on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody who does returns, handles returns from stores had this. It was in the box. It looked like it maybe had been used once and somebody had returned it. I paid $50 for this piece. And this French style Oster actually retails for $199, which is what I saw it for. There's a really great Oster that's sold at Walmart. I think it's $79 that has that whole extra large capacity. That would be a great option as well. I suggest everybody buy are heat gloves. These are my heat gloves. I got these on Amazon. I don't think I paid more than like $12, $15 for them. I was using oven mitts, silicone oven mitts. I just find that they're so thick that they're hard for me to kind of work with and remove, like heat tape and all that. So I found that these were a little easier for me to work with. Just a warning, you're dealing with really hot mugs, and you need to peel the paper off right away when it comes out of the oven. So you might want to protect yourself and invest in a decent pair of heat gloves. So here I have my mug, Sublimation mug, and a design that I had printed on my Sublimation printer. I used the Epson 16500, which is an Echo Tank style. I don't want to deal or fuss with cartridges. I do use this without any problems, and I think it's a good idea. I do use squid inks, which you can buy on Etsy. I find that they have really vibrant color, and I have been using a number of papers. I do like Printer's Jack. I like the way it releases ink, so I do suggest that as an ink. And I have used ASUB 120 as well. I like the way Printer's Jack actually lets ink be released a lot better than ASUB, but that's your personal preference. We're going to take our image and we're going to place it on the cup, and we're going to use heat tape to apply this. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. I print my image at 3 inches or 3.1 inches on my mug. This is an 11-ounce mug. If I do a design on both sides, which I typically do, I don't do a full wraparound unless my image will entirely wrap around the mug. I will just cut my image and place it on both sides with tape. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so before I put on my silicone mug wrap, and here's what it looks like. You can get these on Amazon, and they're different sizes. There's ones for 11-ounce mugs, which is typically what I use. There's 15-ounce mugs. There's a variety of different styles, but this is the one that I use. Before I apply this mug wrap, I put out on, once I've got my design on, which I have here, I've got it nicely taped with heat tape. I put two layers of butcher paper, or blowout paper as we call it in sublimation. Not one, but two. What I've discovered is if I don't use two, I have had ink that has transferred to the silicone. You can't see it, but it's there from your previous application, and it will transfer through to your mug, and you will have little flecks and bits of paint that will get on your mug. Don't try to use the silicone by itself on top of your design. You have to use two pieces of blowout paper wrapped on it before you put on your mug wrap. If you want to use one, you can go ahead and do that. What I've learned the hard way is that one coat is just not enough. You need to have 2 layers. This is just a couple of pennies of paper. There's no reason for you not to use it. Don't cheap out, because ruining a mug is going to cost you a lot more money than just utilizing another piece of blowout paper. So that's what I recommend. When I wrap my mug with the butcher paper, what I do is I make it a little bit longer so that I can snip it in a spot like here and here, so that the butcher paper will actually fit around the handle, because this is kind of a notorious spot for paint, ink flecking, and getting on in a place where you don't want it. Also, when you put your mug in the convection oven, you put it upside down with the hole, the opening on the bottom, so that hot air can get inside of it, and therefore, so if your paper, bear with me here, if your paper sticks up a little bit on the top part, it's okay, and nothing's going to happen to it. It won't get burned, I promise. You can fudge a little bit and not have to cut it exactly to the size of your mug. In fact, this is a better thing, because I have had ink fleck and deposit on the rim of my cup because I did not have a little bit of paper overlap. Here's my mug. It's been wrapped twice, as you can see. It's not necessarily the prettiest job. I've just snipped it around the handle, as you can see. Just a little bit of heat tape to hold down each piece of blowout paper, butcher paper as we call it. Some people might refer to it. So it's that simple. You just have a little bit of overlap over your rim. You can have a lot more overlap on the bottom, because this part will be face down anyway. So next step is going to be putting on the mug wrap. So here's my mug. I've got the mug wrap around it. As you can see, it's got a metal clasp on it that you need to seal. I'm going to try to do this with one hand, but it takes a little bit of pressure for you to close it tight. Let's see if we can get that done with one hand. No, we're going to have to do that with 2 hands. So I'm going to put this down for a minute. Okay, apologies, I didn't have enough hand strength for it. But here's the mug wrap on. I let it come up just a little pinch above the rim on the top, and I got the excess paper here, no big deal, and it comes over the end. That's it. Again, these mug wraps can be purchased on Amazon, and they're, I think, $12.99. And this provides constricted pressure on your mug in the same way that a typical mug press would create pressure to hold your image down. I confess I've tried it without the mug press, the silicone cover, and just taped my image down with blowout paper, and my image was blurry. It was not saturated enough, simply because there is just not enough pressure that this mug wrap creates. So be sure to get yourself one of these mug wraps. And now we're ready. You're going to be preheating your convection oven while you're doing all this, would be helpful, to 400 degrees. Okay, so now we're getting ready to put our mug into the oven. My oven isn't actually on. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, but your oven would be at 400 degrees. Your thermometer would be in there, and it would say 400 degrees. So we are going to grab our mug. Here it is, like we wrapped it. And what I would suggest you do is I tend to put mine handle side in. So in this direction. The reason why I do that is because I have my mugs in there for 12 minutes to heat up. And halfway through, around the 6 or 7 minute mark, I rotate my mugs, and I then turn them halfway, so then the handle is facing forward. This just makes it easier when you're done cooking your mug to be able to grab the handle on your mugs. So keep in mind, I want you to put your mug with the open end down and facing in this direction with the handle in. So we're going to put our mugs in now. Okay, so here's our mug inside the oven. It's cooking. You can see that the handle is facing the back. And let's see, you can see the opening underneath is the open side or the top side of the mug. So you're going to let this cook. Use your timer. Again, I use my Alexa timer. I set it for 6 or 7 minutes. When that goes off, I then open the oven and I rotate my mug to the handle facing forward. I feel that this gives you even cooking on both sides, particularly if you have 2 mugs in the oven at the same time. I feel that if you don't turn the mugs, you kind of get a situation where the heat doesn't really transfer well, particularly in the middle, and then you may find that your image is imprinted lighter on the inside if you don't rotate. I find that I've eliminated all of that if I rotate my mugs. I personally don't like to do more than 3 mugs at the same time, and I really try to stagger where they sit in the mug in the oven if I do that. And then if you do 3, that becomes even more critical that you rotate. I prefer doing 2 at the same time, but that's up to you. But I get the best imprinting sublimation when I do 2 mugs at once. Be very careful when you're removing your paper and your mug wrap. I use an X-Acto knife to peel up my tape from my butcher paper, and I use it to peel off the image as well. Just be very careful doing this. Make sure you do use a sharp X-Acto knife to be able to do this process. Okay, here's a mug that I completed a long time ago. You would let your mug cool down, of course. I ended up painting the rim of this glass, this ceramic mug for just to test something. So this is kind of a mug that I've created just as a sampling for some other things that I was trying. But you'll see that your mug will be very vivid, and you will have a great image based on this process. Don't forget, it's cooking your mug at 400 degrees, and it's going to be for 12 minutes, and then you'll be done. That's it. It's as simple as that. No expensive mug press is needed. No worry about pressure or anything like that. This is the way to easily sublimate a mug without issue.